We can get started in a minute or so because I want a few people who still want to join us. Okay, as this is recorded, I think we can get started, and then of course people can always come back to the beginning segments, etc.
Okay. So hi everyone, my name is Shaina and I'll be, I guess, your host today for this webinar. So welcome. Today we'll be talking about how to get into a top school, extracurriculars edition, and this webinar is presented by General Services Foundation and For Young by Young. So for today evening, you'll get to meet the speakers, learn a little bit more about the college application process and the different components that are part of it. You learn about how to showcase your interests through your essays and other parts of your application. You learn about the types of extracurriculars. You'll develop how to develop a passion project. And then towards the end, you'll also get to learn about local resources and opportunities for you to actually get involved in those extracurriculars and get started with your passion project. And then of course, at the end, you'll have a Q&A session with our speakers for any questions that you may have. Okay, so let's meet our speakers for today. So we have Shreya, who is the founder and CEO of Nest for Us, and she's also a sophomore at Georgetown University. Shreya, do you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do at Nest for Us?
Yeah, sure. So first off, thank you so much, General Services Foundation, for inviting me to be your spotlight speaker at this wonderful event. Like Shana said, I'm Shreya Venka. I'm a 19-year-old sophomore at Georgetown University, majoring in global health. I'm also the co-founder and CEO of a nonprofit called Nest for Us, which was formed as a philanthropic platform built upon kindness, generosity, and social good. And through 5 core programs, we address over 14 of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs for short, and a plethora of other societal issues, including global hunger, climate change, quality education, poverty, sustainability, women empowerment, equity, and more. Through my work, I'm so blessed. Through with my team of over 3,000 volunteers of all ages and backgrounds, have been able to impact tens of thousands of people in over 27 countries across 6 continents. Very grateful to be here to share a little bit about my experiences going through the college application process and what, however else I can help you guys kind of have that strong mindset going through the process, because that's really the first step, is having that positive attitude going through it. So I'm excited to share my thoughts on it.
That's awesome. We're so glad to have you here today.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have Sonali, who is the founder and executive director of General Services Foundation. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. So my name is Sonali. I am actually going through the college application process right now. So just kind of completed it in the last few days. I run and I'm a founder of the to be nonprofit organization, General Services Foundation. And what we do is we provide high schoolers in the Triangle opportunities to get into service through more than just hours. So we teach you life skills while we help you execute service projects of your own, ranging from small drives to fundraisers, events, and even help you find internships. We do it all. And so the idea is we want you to do more than just have a one-time opportunity to volunteer with a nonprofit. And we have raised over $20,000 in the last year for over 30 nonprofits. And we have the connections to make this all happen. So if you want to have a deeper impact in the Triangle and have a good ad for your resume, learn a little bit more about us.
Awesome. And then we have Sai, who is the founder and CEO of For Young by Young. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Sai, and I'm a senior at Panther Creek High School, and I'm the founder and CEO of Phi Bi. And we are a tutoring organization, and we've had over 1,700 plus students in the past 2 years, and we've saved about $1.7 million in expenses in total. And yeah, that's just me.
Awesome. Okay, we're gonna start with Shreya. And some of the questions that she's going to be answering for us today are: what does the college application process look like? What are the different components of the Common App? How do I work with the 150 character count for extracurriculars? How can I showcase my interests and passions through my essays, especially with that limited word count? And what should I do if I don't have enough awards or activities to put on my application? And lastly, what kind of extracurriculars should I be involved in?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so before starting in my little spiel, I wanted to actually start with a quick icebreaker. It's called the waterfall. So for everyone that's here, basically in the chat box, I want you guys to type something like, what are you passionate about? That's like the question. I want you to type it, but don't press enter. So this can be anything in the world, but the only rule is it has to be something you truly love and enjoy doing. So don't press enter yet. I will tell you guys when to do that. So just think about it, take a moment, think, what are you passionate about? And then I will tell you when to go, so that it can be kind of like a waterfall and we get to see everyone's answers at the same time. So probably take like 30 seconds to do so. And yeah. Pretend there's like Jeopardy music going on. All right, I'm pretty sure that wasn't 30 seconds, but we're gonna say it is. So I'm gonna count you guys down from 10. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, press enter in the chat. Awesome. All right, so we have female empowerment, photography, dance and fitness, music, textile design, and educating students. Awesome. All right, so keep those answers in mind because we're gonna be using them a little later. All right, so actually, before we continue, does anyone actually want to unmute and share why, like what their passion is and why you enjoy doing it? Really short, really quick. I'm putting you guys on the spot, but it's going to be very important for what I'm going to be talking about next. So any volunteers? Not all at once, guys.
Well, I will jump in if no one else is willing to. And of course, a little bit about general services now, but I'm really big into helping youth change makers because the youth is our future, right? And having our future know what it is to give back to the community in large ways is what matters a lot to me. And because if they can make this amazing impact now, imagine what you can do in the years to come.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sonali. And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at, is that impact that you're making on people. And so if you haven't already guessed, my talk today is going to revolve around this word, passion. Something I believe is the most important thing you can showcase in your application and just in life in general. Now, why is passion so important when it comes to college? Well, first off, let me make one thing super crystal clear. Anything you do in life, whether that be academic related, sports, clubs, service, anything at all, it should never be done with the sole intention that it will make you look good on college apps or simply to add another thing to your resume, right? When you do that, it automatically takes away from the enjoyment and the really fulfilling benefits that you get from that activity. It's really all about quality over quantity here. So take service, for example. There are countless volunteers I come across at Nest for Us who do community service solely for hours or some other incentive, which I believe completely defeats the purpose of volunteering in the first place. And to me, hours are simply a mechanism to keep track of how much you are contributing to the community. That's about it. Its importance in comparison to the fulfillment, the skills, and experiences you gain from service is rather meager. I mean, the amount of pride and joy you get from helping others in your community is totally unparalleled. And so that's why through Nest for Us, we have 5 core programs, each with a multitude of service opportunities that allow people from anywhere and everywhere to give back by doing something that they're truly passionate about. Because service shouldn't just be constrained to 1 or 2 things, because the opportunities to spread kindness and generosity in the world are endless, and each person has different experiences, different perspectives that they bring to the table, right? And so another thing about passion, it's something that each and every one of you have. Passion that is unique and authentic to you and only you. Yeah, that's right. Even if it's a common activity, like I saw a lot of people were like sports or music, things like that. You might think, oh, that's just everyone does that. Like, what's so special about that? Well, your passion is special because you add your own experiences, your own skills, and your own talents into it and make it your own. And so that is something that you really want to highlight in your applications. Now, this does not just mean explicitly writing, I am passionate about so and so, this and that. That's not what colleges are looking for, and that's not what you want to showcase about yourself. So what's so special about passion are those unique experiences that you've encountered and learned and grown from, right? They want to see that growth and the development. So capitalize on those by weaving them throughout your application, whether that be through that extracurricular section or through your essay, right? Especially in your essay. And I actually wanted to give you guys some tips about the essay, because I think that is one of the many important parts of your application. So first, use more showing and then telling. And this means don't list actions like I did this, then I did this, and I learned this from this. That's pretty dry and boring. Like, no one wants to read about that. Instead, share your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and even your actions in a way that puts your reader in the moment of your story. Imagine the reader doesn't know anything about you. That's almost 100% the case anyways. And all they have in front of them is your college essay. What do you want to leave them with that best describes who you are as a person? And second, what you choose to write about will 9 times out of 10 not come to mind the first time you sit in front of your computer. So what I suggest is taking a couple of days of just pure brainstorming. What is important to me? What defines me as a person? What are my values in life? Things like that, before sitting down to write your first draft. This way, your essay will be more comprehensive and inclusive of more than just what is already going to be listed in the other parts of the Common App. And so, does anyone want to guess what I wrote about for my college personal statement? I always ask people this, but no one has guessed it right so far. So I'm just interested to see if you guys can guess, just based on what you know about me from what Shayna was saying and then what I had talked about. Nest for us, good guess. I actually wrote about that for one of my other essays, but not for my personal statement. Food insecurity, also a good guess. It is related to food, but not food insecurity. Let's see, anyone have any other guesses? I'm going to tell you. All right. So I actually wrote about Tutti Frutti, which is my favorite ice cream, like Indian ice cream flavor, which, by the way, I ate a lot of during college app season, because why not? Your girl's got to treat yourself, right? So, but in all seriousness, you can write about anything in the world for your college essay. I mean, with Tutti Frutti, I did not just write about ice cream and how much I love ice cream. It's my favorite food, but that's not what I wrote about. I wrote about how Tutti Frutti kind of encompasses who I am as a person, my experiences, and all the stuff I was talking about before. And so that just goes to show you can write about anything in the world for your essay. The trick is just making it your own and showcasing your best self by just being you, your own authentic self. And before I conclude, I want to take a moment to address the role of awards in college applications, because this is something that I get asked a lot. So first off, I am beyond grateful and truly blessed for each and every recognition I have received from organizations and media around the world. But personally, I don't believe any of that was the reason for why I ended up at Georgetown. For me, why Georgetown was so important to me, it's actually the fun fact, it was the last school that I looked at, which is super ironic because it's right next door to me. But it's so like these things happen for a reason, which is just so incredible. And it's just something that like still shocks me to this day, right? About how everything is already lined up for you. So Georgetown, one of my favorite things about the school is how much they emphasize service. And that's really what drew me to that school. And that's something that like each school has that like special thing that you will be drawn to, right? You won't be able to explain why you're drawn to it, but you will be drawn to that. And so service was that for me at Georgetown. And in terms of success, to me, success is best measured by hard work, dedication, and all that. So I just want to be known for the impact that I make on other people's lives, not for personal recognitions. I hope you guys are the same way. And I really believe my experiences and the impact, not quantity, but quality of the impact that I made as a daughter, sister, friend, teammate, student, volunteer, community leader, all of these different things. And then at the end of the day, a human being. On the lives of others are the most important measures of success, and what I'm proud to have displayed on my application. And so if you don't remember anything else from what I shared with you all today, I want you to leave today with this. You've come this far. Everything you've done for the past, 17, 18 years have all brought you here at the crossroads of your future. It's now in your hands to share your story, what makes you you with the world. Take it from me. Everything, like I said, everything happens for a reason. And I promise you will end up exactly where you belong. And at the end of the day, there is no secret ingredient or flawless path to success, nor is there such thing as a perfect applicant or top school, right? There's just something that where you'll find the place where you belong at the end of the day. And so before I pass it back to General Services Foundation, I wanted you all to revisit the icebreaker we did earlier. What are you passionate about? And take a moment to reflect on your prior answer, and then type it in the chat if your answer has changed, or is there anything you want to add to it. And it's going to be the same thing, waterfall. So don't press enter yet, but just think about, has my answer changed from the beginning after hearing this? Is there anything you took away from the workshop? Feel free to write that as well. And I'll give you guys 20 seconds this time because you already have your passion in mind. So I will let you guys know when you can do so. And while you guys are doing that, I just wanted to thank General Services Foundation again for inviting me to speak at your webinar. I think it's so important to just bring awareness about these different things and just, again, cultivate that mindset of you guys can do this. There's so many students, just like everyone here on this call, that are going through the same process, and we all need to work together in order to best showcase our talents. So yeah, if you guys are all ready, you can press enter, and we will take a little moment to reflect on what our passions are. So go for it. Oh, this time the waterfall stopped. If you don't want to type in the chat, anyone want to unmute and say if anything they took away or anything they want to reflect on. And before that, if you would like to join, I'll do a little mini plug. If you'd like to join Team Nest for Us, please feel free to reach out, and I'll actually drop our handles in the chat right now. And if you have any questions about the college application process, feel free to type them in the chat or unmute. I'd be happy to answer them. Sonali and Shayna, whenever you have time for questions. And then thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of today's session.
All right, thank you so much. That was awesome. I love a little waterfall activity and the little message that you left us with at the end.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so check out their website and all their social media she put in the chat. Okay, so now we have Sai, and he's going to be talking about how he found his passion with For Young by Young, how you guys can find your niche, and then how do you find a passion project that isn't just for college. And then he'll also talk a little bit about how to get an internship and job opportunities.
So yeah, my name is Sai, again, and introducing myself. And let me just get started with how I started FiBi and how I came up with the idea. So me and my friend were playing basketball one day, and it was around 2 years ago, around the peak of the pandemic. So it was just me and him playing, and he got a schedule for next year. And when he got it scheduled, he saw that he got the hardest teacher for his math class, and he was just outblown, and he was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get such a bad grade. How is a B gonna look on my transcript? I don't know what to do." And I just calmed him down and said, "It's fine. I'll just tutor you for free because I've been through like a lot of paid tutoring services, and I realized that I was just wasting my money just giving them like what, $30-$40 an hour just to do a worksheet. And at the end of that time, I just gave the worksheet back to them, and there, the session was done. So I did not want my friend to go through the same process of paid tutoring, so I decided to tutor him for free. And I got another friend of mine to actually help teach chemistry because the friend I was tutoring also needed help with chem. And the friend I brought also got 2 people from his neighborhood, and we kind of started our own mini tutoring platform. And we eventually spread to our neighborhood. That's where we kind of went to like about 100 people. And then Spectrum News and ABC wrote about us, and that's kind of what sparked our popularity in the community. So that's just how I started this off. And in terms of passion, there's many things I had to learn on the way with the building FiBi. I first was able to learn how to market using social media, emailing, different kinds of campaigns. It's all stuff I did not know how to do before. And through that journey, I was able to learn quite a lot. I was also able to learn all other kinds of stuff like how to write better, how to talk to people, and just setting up other kind of webinars like these right now. And during that, I was also able to find that I was interested in business. I was first interested in comp sci, because my parents and friends were telling me, "Oh, go in this field. It's a great field to go into. You get lots of money." And yeah, I was into it. So I was trying to make a project before, and I realized that, yeah, this isn't for me. I was trying to code an app, and I couldn't even last for 3 days trying to code the app. And I just said, you know what, I'm done with this. So building Fibi, I was able to understand that I was interested in business. I like to be in this kind of service. I like managing and the corporate world. And, just finding a passion that isn't really for college, you're going to have to explore more on other kinds of activities, different experiences, internship courses on just what you find interesting. Like when I found out that I was interested in business, I started taking some courses at my local community college, and I started taking classes in economics, management, marketing, and just basic intro to business classes. And that's when I found out that, you know what, I like learning about business. I want to go into this field and I want to achieve myself in this particular sector. So that's when I figured out that, yeah, I want to go into this and I actually want to learn. This is something I would learn in my free time. And yeah, and to build onto that, getting more opportunities to find that passion and experience is getting an internship. So there's two different ways that I found out is to get an internship is one, you can apply through the normal way, which is like Indeed and LinkedIn. And the other way is you're going to have to work a little bit harder and email every single local firm in this area. So what I did was I emailed local finance firms near me, and there was like a big list on Google with just, local accounting firms, local CFP firms, and CPA firms. And I started emailing. I created an email and I said, "Hi, this is who I am. I go to this school and this is what I'm interested in. Can I come shadow you for one day?" And I asked if, can I go observe you? Can I see what you do? And just how is your life in this job? So just shadowing like one person, I was able to go and ask at the end of the day, "Hi, do you have any other work left? Can I come, do you have any other assistant jobs needed?" And if you keep on continuing the shadowing process, you're eventually going to find someone to actually intern. And that too, it's a process that's kind of time consecutive. You're gonna have to email lots of firms. I emailed about 60 to 50 different firms in this area and only got responses from 5 people. And in that was, I had to go into the job, come spend the whole day with the person, and then ask at the end of the day, "Here, do you have any work left?" And with that being said, it's a long process, but going through this can help you find out what you want to go into and just what kind of passion you're interested in.
Awesome. And I put the link to an email template that he provided in the chat. So if you guys want to check that out and maybe do something similar to that. Okay. And then we have Sonali, and she's going to be talking about, how can I find my niche? How can I develop my passion project? How important are volunteer hours and how many do I need? Because a lot of people have questions about that. What are some local resources and opportunities that you guys can get involved in? And will good academic scores with very little extracurricular activities impact the college admission selection process?
Okay, so it's great to see you all. And it's great to see you all thinking about the college application process, especially extracurriculars, as that's a huge portion sometimes these days. So I'm going to go back to Shreya's waterfall activity, right? So imagine that you put clothing insecurity as your example, right? And so the first resource that I'll be telling you about is a General Services Foundation for those in the RDU and Triangle area. So if your clothing insecurity was your little waterfall piece, what we would do is we would sit you down and tell you, hey, we are going to connect you with an amazing nonprofit, and we're going to provide you with all of the amazing resources to start a project for free. We will walk you through the process on how to start these projects as well, because a lot of the time you don't know how to do that, especially when it's your first time, right? So if you are not sure how to start a service project or a passion project, especially, we'd help you with that. And I'll start off with a perfect example. So there was an amazing girl who was on the team board of a nonprofit called Note in the Pocket, who provides quality clothing for children in Wake County, which is our local county. And what she actually did was she came to General Services Foundation and was like, hey, I actually don't know how to start this service project and I need your help. And so what we did is we walked her through the process on finding her niche, which was baking and calligraphy. And she started selling mug cakes for $5 a piece. Mug cakes, by the way, these cute, tasty little amazing things that one of our amazing high schoolers has been creating. And she has been selling them. We helped her with the marketing. We helped her with the promotion. We have our own resources to help her make the most amazing platform and fundraiser possible. And so what she did was she set a goal of $100 last year and ended up raising over $800. And so she found her passion project and she found her niche. From there, she actually wanted to keep working with Note in the Pocket to keep furthering her passion, which was serving for those in clothing insecurity or dealing with clothing insecurity. And from there, what she did was she actually started a clothing drive of her own. So and then she started a clothing drive of her own. We helped her with promotion. She took the skills and the life skills she learned, which you do learn a lot, from her mug cake sale and implemented into a clothing drive. The average clothing drive, by the way, it raises about 200 items or articles of clothing. She raised 7,100 articles of clothing. It took an entire U-Haul truck to bring it by. But it was because of her passion for the cause she was participating in, and also the love and support of General Services Foundation that we have provided her. And of course, this year we have also started the mug cake fundraiser of hers again. She is taking a lead on it, and she has already raised over $500 of her new $1,000 goal. And so it shows how over time she has been able to push out this passion project of hers through the local resources or the local free resources of hers. And I know a huge issue is there's sometimes monetary barriers, like your parents probably don't want to give you the starting costs to start a fundraiser because they don't see you bring back the money. And that is what we do here at General Services Foundation. We help provide those sorts of things. And honestly, at the end of the day, to us, more important than volunteer hours, and especially to colleges, like Shreya said earlier, volunteer hours are always a plus. But at the end of the day, it's what you're able to do for the community, like this member did with her mug cake and drives for the passion she cares about. And so talking a little bit about resources, I know that's a huge reason why you've come. We want to talk about for those specifically located in the RDU and Triangle area. If you are looking for some amazing tutoring services and to learn things like finances and amazing things all for free, we actually have both the Well and 5i, of course. There are so many amazing free resources that people don't know about and that we want to be able to provide for you. So the Well provides services, especially virtually for those in Wake County. So take a look at what they do. Take a look, of course, at what 5i does, because they got some amazing free tutoring, as talked about earlier. But also we have another amazing one called Activate Good. If you are looking for some volunteer resources, just to get some hours, not to do a passion project or anything of the sort, check out their website. They have an amazing list of things to do for kids that are under 18. So there's that. And then of course, one huge thing is General Services Foundation actually works with over 30 amazing nonprofits. And I wanted to provide you all with a resource stating a little bit about local nonprofits, because at the end of the day, most high schoolers don't hear about organizations that aren't the big names like Red Cross, Breast Cancer Research Foundation, those sorts of things. And so if you're looking to give back locally, and that's something we are huge about at General Services Foundation, please check out Activate Good and our nonprofit connections list. And so something I wanted to leave you with is that at the end of the day, extracurriculars are important, but it is more important that you find a passion in that niche that you are truly caring and find that love for. So if that is quality clothing for children in the area, or tutoring services like what Sci does, or so many others, we can help connect you to all these amazing resources and causes to start something amazing in our community to make that impact.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And all of those links are in the chat for everyone to check out. So at this point, I guess I will open it up to questions. If anybody has, you can unmute or put them in the chat. Feel free to ask about like any additional resources, the college admissions process or application process, or more information on their personal journeys.
Okay, so I know I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be asking questions or not, but Shreya, I would love to hear a little bit more about, like you said, you worked on 5 different programs to serve the our community in different ways. I would love to hear a little bit more about that.
Yeah, sure. So through Nest for Us, we have 5 different programs, which tackle a variety of different things and serve different populations around the world. And so starting with the first one, Nest Nurtures, is our hunger-based program that is focused on fighting global hunger, food insecurity, and poverty through food rescues, feeding the hungry, and service projects. And these service projects can go from sandwich assembly projects, it's literally packing sandwiches, granola bars, fruit, all of that in bags, or it can be packing rice and beans. We have a lot of different hunger-based service projects that we do. We also have our blessing bag projects, that is more like care packages and toiletries, and that goes under Nest Cares, which is our kindness program focused on empowering people to do random acts of kindness across the community. So those are mainly for like community heroes, homeless community, low-income families, all that good stuff. And then we have Nest Tutors, which is similar to what 5i does. It's a free tutoring program through which we offer personalized sessions that is fully youth. It's youth teaching youth. And so you kind of get that cultural awareness as well, because we are connected with organizations across the world. And so that is one of the kind of special things about Nest Tutors, is that it's not just teaching academics, it's teaching life skills, and then empowerment, and then also gaining that cultural awareness. And then with Nest Buddies is our birthday in a box program. It's that celebrating birthdays, because we believe every kid deserves to celebrate on their special day, regardless of socioeconomic status. And so it's essentially a birthday in a box. So very fitting because it's Sonali's birthday. But essentially, it's just a little mini birthday in a box. So you have like a party hat, a little blow popper thing, a little cake, note, like a handwritten card, little present, little thing like that, just to make them smile and have those special birthday memories that I'm sure that we all enjoy creating on our special day. And then last but definitely not least is Nest Inspires, our leadership program, which is focused on hosting webinars similar to this one about leadership, the power of positivity, and then also focusing in on a lot of the issues that we strive to tackle, like climate change, hunger, quality education, different things like that. And so the reason, like I said earlier, why we have so many different programs is because service is not just 1, 2, or 3 things. There are so many different ways that you can get involved in the community. And a lot of these ways are very simple. They take 30 seconds to make an impact in someone's life. And so just being able to show people that service can be their own and they can impact the community in whatever way they're passionate about is our main goal. So yeah, thank you for that question.
In the chat, there's a lot more now. So the first question is for you, Shreya. What other schools did you apply to and how many hours did you spend on applications?
Yeah, so I applied to a lot of different schools, but I think, like I said, it's not about the amount of schools you apply to. It's about what you're interested in. And I know that sounds really cliche, but for example, I'm a global health major. So I was looking towards schools that are more focused on global health than there are a lot of schools that like specialize in certain majors per se. And so for me, Georgetown seemed like that perfect opportunity to combine something I'm very passionate about, health and science, with my other passions of service. And so kind of finding that connection between my academics and then also what I do outside of school, that's what really drew me to Georgetown in particular. And then in terms of hours, how many hours I spend on applications, I guess this varies. This varies for people because it's a multi-step process. The first step is before even starting, you got to understand the process through and through, do the research at your own pace, understand what goes into the application, have it all organized, get like an Excel sheet, have your list of colleges first. Tour as many as you can, whether that be virtually, going in person. If you can go in person, that is always good. I know with COVID, it's a little bit tricky, but it's always, you get that feeling of being, because it's going to be your home for the next 4 or 5, however many years you're there. So it's important to have that connection with the school beyond just that major or the academic portions of it, because again, it's going to be the community that you are going to be living with. So that, and then also then working on your essay, definitely not keeping that to the last minute. And so spacing that out, because you're going to be writing a ton of those, and just things like that. So it's a multi-step process, and there's no like set amount of hours that you're going to spend on it, because it's going to be going through your head. Remember what I said earlier about the brainstorming? You got to be thinking about this. What does it mean to be me? And how can I put that into my application? That's going to be in your mind throughout the entire process. So it is really hard to pick, like, I spent 40 hours on this, because I can't really guess, because it's something that takes so much time and it takes a lot of thought. You have to put a lot of thought into it because it's something that really showcases who you are. So, but great question.
Mm-hmm. And the next question actually fits perfectly. When should you start writing these essays?
Do you want me to
This
answer?
is just a general question. Whoever wants to answer this.
Okay, I'll answer this one because it's like, it honestly varies between people. I'm going to be honest. Personally, I'd love to hear like the perspectives of both of the other two of you. I started writing mine, I'd say August before my senior year of high school. And honestly, I felt like I was cutting it a little bit close, especially because a lot of colleges have a lot of supplemental essays that take time to actually do, which is actually like mini essays per college. And so sometimes it may be like, hey, why do you want to go to this college? Hey, what's something like that shows your diversity and what you care about and your passions, that sort of thing. So I would say personally to start at the very beginning-ish time of the summer. So the beginning of the summer, but then hopefully start those secondary supplemental essays at the end of the summer, beginning of the school year. So if you have any early application colleges specifically you want to hit, you have that already. And you have the time to do it all.
Yep, same thing. Start in the summer. Start thinking about it before. Start thinking about it throughout your junior year, so you have time to really think about it and let it sink in. And then I would say start writing it spring semester. Sorry, I run wet semesters in college, but like the spring of your junior year throughout the summer of right before senior year. That's like going to be your grind time for essays. So that way you have time to like fine tune stuff before the like early decision, early action, those deadlines. And so you're not stressing about that during a time that's already pretty stressful. So that is my suggestions, just echoing what Sonali's been saying.
Okay. And then I don't know, Sonali or Sai wants to answer this, or Treya. How important is SAT and ACT during test optional period?
Okay, I have a good one for this. It's something I'm very passionate about because colleges sometimes just want more students, I feel, to apply. So I'm not sure how this goes for the schools like Georgetown and the Ivies and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to be answering on behalf of those schools, but I am going to be answering on behalf of the UNC school system schools, for example, NC State, Chapel Hill, that sort of thing. So one huge piece is that you will always hear at admissions officers or admissions visits and that sort of thing. We will look at your SAT and ACT scores only after you apply, right? And I completely disagree with what they're saying a little bit because it does matter. Of course, I would say it matters less, but it still matters. One amazing resource that I love to provide for my amazing junior and sophomore friends is something called a common data set. Every college has something called a common data set for first year students, and it has all the accurate information about what they're looking for. This describes how important things are, like test scores, what their average test scores are, and everything of that sort. So you don't have to get it from a third-party site because it's written by the college. And for example, UNC and NC State last year for 2021, when they said completely test optional, yes, thanks for adding that. They honestly said it was not great. And it said that they actually have it as a very important part of their application process, even though they say otherwise in person. So what I would say is always Google like what their common data set says. So search up common data set UNC 2021, which because that was last year. And you can see, okay, it's high priority for them. Okay, for this one, it's important, but not super high priority and that sort of thing. So you know what to focus on.
Yeah, I think I can answer the next question on advice looking for a passion project. I think you don't have to like set a definite time that you want to start it at this certain point, or you want to do it this 11th grade or 12th grade. It's going to kind of come to you. Like for instance, in just anything you find like passion out of, like I like tutoring people, I like, teaching. So I found that as an instance where I could just expand this. I saw this small thing that I was doing and I wanted to scale it to another level. So it doesn't have to be specific to tutoring, community service. It can be anything that you're interested in. And it's just gonna come to you. You don't have to worry too much about trying to find it, and just whatever interests you have should just help you start it.
Yes,
And
so always thinking back to like that waterfall topic, right? So go Shreya for that amazing idea.
I can answer the can you have a passion that is not directly related to that question?
Yeah, go for that. But let me actually finish this one up a little bit because
Go for it.
personally, like I know like you may have started Nest Frost maybe in your freshman or sophomore year, but I felt like my passion project, because it had so little to do with what I was hoping to do with the college application process, because at the end of the day, the point was just to give back. I actually started it my junior year of high school when you're like, oh my God, how can you do anything like right before college applications are done? So yeah, when it comes, it comes. But of course, if you ever need help, feel free to use me as a resource. I know, for example, I helped one girl who was like, hey, I'm looking for books. I'm an avid book reader. What do I do? I helped her find some resources that were completely separate from the work I do. So some amazing clubs that she can get involved with out of school where she could invite these huge authors to come and visit, or also join some service projects where it's like, hey, we're giving to a book related cause, or host a book drive or something like that. So finding that one niche that you really care about and kind of pulling it through is what's super important.
Yeah, totally agree. And that actually kind of half answers this question of can you have a passion that's not directly related to the field of study that you're going into? Yes, the answer is yes. And because I'm going to focus in on the word passion here, because passion is not a singular word. It's a plural word, more than plural word, because you can have more than just one passion. And while, of course, what you're going to study, what you're going to do through your career, you should, of course, want to do it. First of all, it should not be something that you're forced into or doing it because it brings you so much money or it gets you fame or it gets you any of that. You have to go to work. You should go to work or go to school every day thinking, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to learn something new, right? That's important. I'm going to learn something new, step out of my comfort zone, come back home feeling satisfied that I learned something new and that I did something that I am super passionate about. And so to answer that question, yes, you can have many passions that are not related to your field of study, but you can also have passions that are related to it, that can help enhance that, and just make that experience very holistic in nature and very comprehensive. So yeah.
Something super interesting to me is I actually found, and I think Sai was saying the same thing, what we wanted to do through our passion project. So it was kind of the other way around. We kind of found a passion project because we didn't know what we wanted to do and was like, wow, this is kind of what we want to do. So that was pretty cool. And I can answer the question from Amrita. How do you keep track of the college applications? Okay, I actually have the perfect resource for you. So I shall put it in the chat. It's a college essay tracker, by the way. College Essay Guy is an amazing resource throughout the college application process. He has a YouTube channel. He has all these amazing supplemental like videos and ways to find your whole college app thing, like your thing for your essays or whatever. But that is his tracker. So you can write all the information you find from your common data sets, all the essays on the second page. So you make sure you know what you need to write and that sort of thing to make sure you don't miss anything. Because if you go to an application and you're like, oh my God, I completely forgot to write an essay and it's the night before, that's probably not always super easy. So this is that for you. And of course, there's so many other amazing ones on Google, just finding a good template that works best for you.
To add on to Krisha's question on just a passion project that's not directed to your field of study, I think you can incorporate lots of stuff on the way in your passion project. Like, let's just say that your passion project is photography related or art related, and you want to go into computer science. Like, in FIBI itself, like I had to learn some comp sci stuff on the way. Like I had to learn Excel pretty well. I had to use SQL and Google Analytics. And I think those are some other things I learned on the way that was also useful for my college application. So, you can always try to find new ways to incorporate new stuff. Like business is always going to be incorporated in any kind of passion project because you're always scaling something to the next level. And you can just try to find something. So don't be like scared to like do something that you're actually passionate about just because you're applying to a different major.
Yes, just because you're going to go into the STEM field and become a professional computer scientist that does all this coding stuff. That doesn't mean that like a passion that has to do with, I don't know, food insecurity doesn't matter, because you can completely have that as your passion project and weave it into your essays. Okay, awesome. Do we have any last questions?
Okay. If not, that concludes our webinar for today. Feel free to check out all of our websites and social media. Thank you, Sonali, Shreya, and Sai for giving us such great insights into the college application process and your personal journeys with your passion projects. And thank you all for attending today.
Yes, and I know something, sorry for cutting you off, but I know something that's amazing is I will also be getting our team to be sending out all of these links and resources in the follow-up email. So if there's something you couldn't save, something you lose in your browser history, that sort of thing, we'll be sure to provide it for you. So if you're like, oh no, I need the recording all over again, or oh my, I need to this college essay list, or finding or how to find the common data set, I'll quickly add those like top like links for you all to check out. And for those who couldn't make it. Awesome. Have a great day, y'all. Or I guess great evening for those in Eastern time.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, thank you.